All right. Hello, everyone. So, this is like a little special preview of the project I'm working on. I decided to go ahead and work through Act 1, well, not Act 1, but all the acts of Normal and do a commentary on it kind of as a demo to see how I do. This is not going to be the final product, hopefully. Hopefully, I'll have a lot more like effects and stuff. I don't know. But the cuts are going to be the same. I know the cuts are bad. I'm still learning. I'm not going to be able to fix a lot of the cuts and everything since this is like my first ever project. But I did do the basics, basically, of things. Uh, I'm still sick right now, so I don't want this to be like the commentary of when it's completely full. Consider this a trial run. So I'll be stopping for a second and coughing every now and then, most likely. So just to let you know. But I do have a video. I'm going to be doing this in segments and then splicing it all together at the end. Um, I can give you some information first, though. When I was cutting this down to get it to where I could do a commentary over it, uh, I got this down like really small. It's still, I think it's still over an hour. It could be a little bit less, but I think it's still over an hour. Like Act 3, by cutting out all the fluff and everything, where we go and get all the pieces, like the brain, the eye, the heart, and then the flail to do travical to get down to Mephisto. The the whole video was 2 hours and 51 minutes long. When I had it all cut down to where just mainly the basics of that area were done, I got the video down to 19 minutes. That's how big of a cut we're talking about. Now, I also did some farming in Lower Karast um, at that point. It was really, really good um, setup. It was the two bonfire setup. For those who don't know, Lower Karast has two setups: one bonfire and then a two bonfire setup. And the buildings around the bonfires have what's known as super chests in them. If you increase your player rating up to 8 or 7, whichever, if you increase your player rating all the way up, those chests will drop more because they're called what's known as super chest. They drop like runes a lot, they drop charms, all kinds of stuff. And you don't really need magic find to do that. And I did it in normal because I had a two bonfire setup. So that means there was a lot more chest than you would usually see. Usually you see only the one bonfire setup and you kind of have to hunt and do the reset method when you get to like nightmare difficulty to get a two bonfire setup so you could get it farm quicker. But I automatically got a two bonfire setup with just normal. So I decided to sit there and I only farmed like 30 minutes. So still, even if you knock off 30 minutes, that would have been like 2 hours and 20 something minutes. And I still cut it down because every time I went through, all the way through, I mean, all the way through from normal through hell difficulty, I had the Great Marsh. There's a small chance that the Spider Forest, the beginning area for Act 3, will transfer into the Flare Jungle without the Great Marsh coming in at all. And I didn't get that at all. Every one of my runs through Act 3 was Spider Forest, Great Marsh to Flare Jungle. I had to go through all three. So yeah, it takes extra time when that happens. You have a whole extra area that does nothing. The Great Marsh does nothing. Your quest items are in the Spider Forest and in the Flare Jungle, and there's nothing in the Great Marsh. It's just filler. So yeah, there really isn't anything that yet is worse than that in a run, especially if you were doing like a speed run. The speed run's pretty popular for Diablo 2, and that's just pretty much a run killer almost sometimes. But I did want to go ahead and do a little introduction for all the mods I'm going to be using. So give me just a second and I will throw up the mod deal so you can see what the mods are I'm using, and I will go over them in this little beginning section. And I'm going to cut this and put this as like a part 0 for the section. Uh, it I'll probably go ahead and attach it to the beginning because, like I said, this is just a demo. But for something like this that takes a few minutes, like it's already been 5 minutes, I will probably cut this and put it as a section 0 because I want to go over the mods and stuff like that for you like that. And then we'll get directly into the commentary next. Okay. So this is it right here. All of my mods go through the D2R the mod manager. I have expanded inventory, basically just makes my inventory bigger. Uh, in the early, up till like hell difficulty, I was not using expanded cube. When I got to hell difficulty, I put on expanded cube. By then it had been fixed. Early on, even though the mod had been updated, it was kind of bugged in that when you try to craft in the stash with the expanded cube, it would put it out of the boxes for the cube in the stash. So you would actually have to physically open up the cube to grab out the item you just crafted and stuff like that. Didn't want to deal with it, so I just took it off. But eventually they did get it updated, and I put it back on when I needed to craft like a pole arm to make like a 5-socket pole arm. Remove stamina drain rated warlock. Basically what this does is it sets all the stamina drain for when you're using your stamina to run around quicker down to 1. Basically your beginning stamina drain is like regen. It's bigger than 1, so you just always get this. So you never actually run out, basically. They also said they increased your walk speed and your run speed by 1 on each one, so there's that. Socket punching is just where you can make your own sockets whenever you want. You use the jewel drops, put them in with the item you're wanting, socket punch. But you do have to understand the way sockets work. They're based on the item level of the gear, so that's based on the area level and the monster level that drop the item. So if you're trying to socket a 4-socket monarch shield, if you get it too low of an eye level, it will turn into a 3-socket even though you put 4 jewels in it because it's too low of a level to have 4 sockets in it. So you do have to be aware of that. Just look up D2R socket level. It'll go to the first result should, I think, be like the wiki or something like that. That'll get you to the page, and you can see what the item level is for an item that needs to have a certain socket number and stuff like that on it. Remove monster immunities. With the default settings, which is what I left this at, all monsters' maximum resistance is 90 instead of 100, so no monster can be immune. Increase stack size. This increases stack size of like the the keys, stuff like that. The town portal books and these identify books can hold 100 in them and stuff like that. So things just stack bigger on certain things. Horrific Forging is a mod that allows you to do various things for in the Horrific Cube. You can like re-roll an item. You can set its eye level higher. That's one way you can make sure you have enough sockets for everything, is to like set the item level higher, stuff like that. You can reforge it, re-roll it, all kinds of stuff like that. Heroic upgrading lets you make a item into a unique or set item. Warning, the set item thing doesn't work. I tried it a lot to get a golem in space for my Amazon. Didn't work at all, no matter what I tried. I couldn't even make any other set item, so the set item thing just doesn't work. Melee area damage didn't really come into effect for the Amazon, I don't feel, because she automatically has area damage built in with her if you're using her lightning skills, so I didn't really notice if it did anything, but I do have it for if I want to play like a barbarian or something. Rune words panels, basically it changes the help panel into a list of all the rune words in the game. So if you hit either H or F1, depending on your keybinds, unless you set it to something else personally, you will bring up the help panel, but instead of being the help panel, it'll be a long list of rune words, and they're sectioned in that it starts with the starts with the weapons, I think, and then there's a scroll bar over to the right side, and there's a green notch in them, and each green notch is the next item type for rune words. So I think it goes weapons, then body armors, then helmets, and then shields. Breakpoint and recipe panels. Basically, the only thing I use this for is the breakpoint panel. There will be an extra arrow in the character sheet where you adjust your attributes and stuff when you level up. There's a little arrow that you can pull out that'll give you your advanced stats and stuff like that. There's another arrow above it that you can click, and it will bring up a panel with all the breakpoints for all the characters, so you can see them in game. Extended buff durations. But this does, it got recently updated to the new version of the game, but also got updated and it's got a new function. Basically, all the buffs that you can do, like battle orders, battle commands, and stuff like that, will last 8 hours. And it works for like all the stuff, including like burst of speed, stuff like that. But the update also added the option to extend the shrine durations, and the default for those is 30 minutes. So I just left them at 30 minutes. I was thinking about increasing them to an hour, but 30 minutes is good enough. So all the shrines will last 30 minutes. Gamble class items. I do have this set to only show me Amazon items besides the default items that you can get in the gamble screen. So I could gamble for things that I usually can't get, like javelins, stuff like that, in the gambling. Merc Equipped is a mod that allows you to equip boots, gloves, belts to your merc so they can have extra equipment to make them tankier. Rune Downgrade basically allows you to take a high level rune, downgrade it to a lower level rune. So it just takes one and it will split down. Usually it's set to 2. I have mine set to 3, so it gives me 3 runes back. The Rune Easy upgrade is the same in reversed. It allows you to take 2 runes and upgrade it to the next rune without having a gem cost attached to it as well. Increased drop rate basically increases the drop rate of everything. Enhanced chest drops is a mod that it makes chest drops better. Basically, they'll drop runes more frequently, stuff like that. Sometimes they'll drop like uniques and set items, but mainly they drop runes and rares and stuff like that more often. Guaranteed drops is a no drop mod. Basically, it sets, even if you have it set to like player 1, it'll be no drop. There'll be no drop. Basically, it's what it does. It doesn't always work for chest, even with the enhanced chest drop mod. You still could get no drops, but basically every monster you kill is not going to have a no drop. And then perfect drops is a mod that everything that does drop can be perfectly rolled, basically. So you will always get a perfectly rolled item, is basically what that does. Most of these mods are for me to use to not have to spend months trying to get gear. The Javazon, the Lightning Javazon, is very, very gear dependent at certain points. And if you don't get those pieces of gear, you got to go and farm, and you got to go farm a lot with the normal drop rates and stuff like that. So that's why I do a lot of, that's why I use those mods for that. All right. So there is that. Now it's time to get into the commentary, the post commentary. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done something like this, so hopefully it's not too bad, but I can tell you right now it's going to be bad. And also, I will be doing a little bit of in commentary as well. after the video ends. And then I will be, after that, I will be stopping, taking a break, go like maybe having lunch or something, and then I'll come back and do the next section. So I'll be splicing these sections together as well. So hopefully it turns out well. We'll see. This is going to be rough. All right, here we go. So here we are in the town, Act 1, starting out and things like that. Our exit is down here on the left side, so that's nice. It's not actually nice. It is if you want to use a Geed as a reset point, but usually if you want to reset Geed, you'll want to get the north exit, because then you can reset Geed and Charcy together. And then I had to do a little finagling, and I still don't have my keybinds right, because I forgot that when you have it set to a deal, if you don't set it here, it'll just switch back to the normal attack. And then I remember I need to get my loot filter on, so I do that. And then later on, I add to the loot filter in that I turn off the lower level potions, basically, eventually. I'm just figuring out what I want to do and then just cut it because it's taking too long. Found a chest that I can't get into because I don't have a key yet. Oop. Yep. See, I still haven't figured out the keybinds yet. It's still messing with me. I haven't got them set up yet. And then there's my first piece of armor, some gold. Missed that chest. It's not really much going on. I'm actually fishing for level 2 right now, is what I'm wanting. So I can at least get like jab going. And then I got my first upgrade for the javelins. Got a couple of runes, got a skull. Not much, but it's not going to last long because there's a brand new yellow. Actually pretty good. 10 enhanced damage, max damage, min damage, stuff like that. New belt and stuff. I'm also out here getting stuff to get money and things like that. Getting my potions in order that I want them to be in, so I know what to do. So yeah, basically I'm just out here getting things. First ring, got level 2, which is nice. Unless I need it stat-wise for some reason, all of my stat points are going into vitality. So if I need strength for an item, I will increase my strength or stuff like that, but I will not be doing it. So I'm still trying to get the keybinds correct. For this character, I switched from my usual keybinds, which is the legacy mode, to the resurrected mode. I want to get used to those keybinds. And in legacy mode, I think it's either the K key or the N key for your skill tab. In resurrected mode, it's T. So that's kind of why I'm wondering what's going on and why I can't access things. Because why did they change that? But there you go. One thing I did change from, I can say right now, from legacy mode, I don't know if I do it right the second, but from the resurrected mode of keybinds is I set my space as the force move. Got me a new shield. But all this stuff is not going to be really identified until I can get back to town, because I basically don't have scrolls to identify things with. And also jab is really, really bad. Here I am back in town, going to go sell things. We got a lot of stuff. I basically filled up my inventory. So right now I'm figuring out what do I sell first to get stuff to identify things with. Basically the bolts. I should have stole the staff I have there in between those two robes at the bottom. That's worth like 5,000 gold, straight up. It's just a lot of money. Also, eventually I sold all the gems and the runes because I didn't need them. I could have sold all those automatically and got things pretty much set right away. But yeah, I buy a book. First armor, it's an upgrade. Sell the old one, keep the new one. Basically. Uh, if you want a list of stuff to keep really early on, the throwing knives, the any sorceress weapons, the wands and stuff, and the staffs, those all sell for a lot of money. Also, scepters as well are worth a lot, and the assassin claws. Assassin's claws, not so much. I would also throw daggers on this list now to pick up because most daggers nowadays roll with something for the warlock. So warlocks beginning weapons is a dagger with a skill plus skill on it. So all the daggers now have maybe warlock stuff like that had +2 to demon mastery on it. Anything that has a plus skill on it is going to be worth a lot more than anything else. So I got my first chest piece, give me 5 cold res, got me a new shield, some fire res, block chance, block recovery. The axe actually had +1 to masteries, I think, on the roll for the barbarian. That didn't have anything on it. +5 to life. I already have a 5 life, 2 mana, so that sells. And then my first ring, +1 to energy, +2 mana, as you are. And then I decide to just go ahead and sell all of that stuff. The runes and the jewels, because I don't actually need, I can't really do anything with them right now, so I'm just getting rid of them. Also, they're the lowest runes there are. There's not many that use that. Some stuff does, but not a whole lot. Then I fill up on portals and scrolls. Cost a lot because now they stack to 100, so it drains my money quickly. I was thinking about keeping the reju, but I did eventually sell it because I wanted to get potions, and I also needed to repair to make sure all of my javelins have their stuff in them for repairs. Also, at this point, I shouldn't be keeping the javelins that I have in my inventory. I never ever once needed them. I kept them in case I ran out, but what I forgot also is that the increased stack size mod increases the stack size of the javelins and stuff, the quantity of them. So they're like quantity 500 base. So you don't really need extra javelins in your inventory anymore with that. Also, I went and got 3 more runes from when I was doing Warlock and sold those to make sure I had enough for repairs and also anything Charcy has. Charcy has some good stuff. She has a 2-socket chest piece and also a 2-socket helmet, which is great. The helmet can become a Ral, so 60 fire res in them. And then the chest piece can become a stealth later on to give us the greatest early game chest piece for ourselves, which is a Tau Eth rune word. I don't make them right now, but I can make them later on. I think I make them when I get to round to the end of the act. But like I said, put everything into vitality unless I need it for a piece of gear. In the Den of Evil, killing things. Down here where always the unique guy is to kill. He's pretty easy due to the throw mechanic. If you get into a melee, it kind of hurts a little bit. And now the hunt begins. There's one monster. There's these 2. I thought maybe these 2 are the guys, but no. There's one monster remaining, and he's pretty much all the way back at the beginning as usual. It's a rite of passage. It's a rite of passage for excuse me, sorry about that. It's a rite of passage for people who play this game. Every now and then, there's just this one mob for the Den of Evil. The way the Den of Evil works is you have to kill everything in it. Everything to pass the quest. So what happens is is there'll be a little imp guy somewhere in the deal. And there is a bigger guy who resurrects them, right? The fallen shamans. And then the fallens are the little guys. The fallen shamans can resurrect the fallen. And so what happens is you go and kill them, but you don't kill the fallen shaman first sometimes, and then he resurrects one of the little guys right before he dies. You don't hear it or see it or anything, and he's just there waiting for you somewhere way back at the beginning. And that's what happens. And you can hear him now, and there he is right there at the top of the screen. And that's basically what happened. Well, actually, not that guy. Because if he was resurrected, he wouldn't have dropped anything. It was just one I missed, basically. And that's the Den of Evil. And that's pretty much the main thing right there. I showed this because I got a new javelin to drop, and I didn't remember if it's good enough. Actually, I should be switching to it. If I don't know why I don't. The 22 attack rating is great, but I don't. Okay. I should have switched to it because the 22 attack rating is better than the min max damage. And here we are at Bloodraven. Bloodraven actually is a pretty good check for stuff early on because she's a summoner. As you kill her guys, she will summon more. And she's a unique and she's ranged. So she is a pretty good check for your skills. So you do have to be careful with her because she can just kill you, straight up kill you if you're not careful. Especially on the really squishy characters like a sorceress and things like that. Also, if you're seeing the X mark appear on enemies when I throw the javelin, that's just to mean I missed. There's an option to have that on, and I like having it on so I can see when I'm not hitting. And there's Raven done. The main reason you want to go do Bloodraven is because her quest is that you get a free merc when you do her quest. Free mercenary. And that's always good to have early on. I can hardly believe it is clear. All right, I'm back. Had a coughing fit. Right here, I'm just checking to see which is better to give to the merc. And there's an amulet, my first amulet, which is attack rating, poison resist, and light radius. And if you're wondering how can that be a 3-point amulet, it's because the attack rating and the light radius is one mod. I know it kind of threw me off the first time I ever heard something like that. But it's what's known as a hybrid mod. And sometimes those are okay, but sometimes they're really bad. Here we are saving Deckard. Not much really happens here. No really great drops or anything. But yeah. There's such thing as hybrid mods, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Here I am buying a 3-socket bow for my mercenary that we'd never use. I'm going to go over to the stash and put Tal in it. And what that does is it gives it a lot of poison damage, like 226 something poison damage. But the thing of it is it makes the required like level 17 or something like that to use. So I pretty much just changed my mercenary like before she even used it. So this was kind of a waste to do. But it's also something you can do for yourself later on. if you ever want to get, if you ever want to use a bow, that's like the best damage you can get early on, pretty much. Unless you get something like a strength wing word or something, if you're melee. All right, take me a break for a second. So here we are in the Black Marsh, going through the tower. And here we go, getting ambushed. Typical tower run, really. Your first tower run, ambush time. Also, be prepared to lose your mercenary always. Yeah, you're going to be down some gold there. And if you're not, if you're really unlucky, you die as well. The most dangerous thing in the tower, besides the Countess herself, is the archers. They're the most dangerous thing in this tower. So do be careful when you go in. And they can ambush you like that. And that was a pack, that was a champion pack, if I'm not mistaken. That was a bunch of blue names. But nothing else much happened. So this is just us going through. We're down on the final floor. Really wasn't much going on. I'm just here peeking around, throwing stuff in, do a little bit of damage to everything. Here we go. Here we go, poking her. And our first drops were a tier, an L, and an F. So not bad. I don't really need the... I do farm the Countess, but I don't really need to. And we also get an Eld and an L rune from her chest. You only get the chest the first ever time you kill her in the difficulty. But yeah. Don't really need a farmer since I already have a bunch of stuff from farming her on the Warlock. But I do farm a little bit to get some extra stuff for later. But there you go. But I'm not going to show you the farming deal. This is after I've done the farming session. Didn't really get anything like high tier or anything like that. But I can make the tile F now. Stealth. I can't wear it yet still. Don't wear it until Act 2. But I can make it right now. So I went ahead and made it. And then I went ahead and made the Ral helmet, which I never actually used, and neither did my mercenary. Because we don't really need it because of the amulet I'm wearing right now, I think. Which is a unique fire res amulet. It gives you +5 max fire res and then like 30 fire res on top of that. And here we are down on Catacombs level 4. We got some things. I think there's some chance gloves I have. Since we rescued Decker Kane, we can get free identifies. So that's nice. We got some Gorefoots, which is nice. The main thing of that is just unless you're a barbarian, the main thing on it is 20 faster run walk. Death Spade, it's ethereal. No mercs that I know of uses it, except for maybe the barbarian. Those aren't the chance gloves, those are just Kliggles. And then the axe of furniture, not needed either. If you want to, here, let me take a quick pause for a second. I did want to show you this. In my stash, I do have what's basically the gloves I'm going to use to in-game because I just never found better. And by the time I was looking for better, the time had already passed on getting those as the best I could. So those gloves right there are Sanders. The red gloves next to the swords. They're Sanders Folly, I think they are called. I might be wrong on that. And those are the gloves I use all through the game. Basically, the big thing on them is they have I think 40 life, and they have 20 attack speed, basically. That's mainly why I use them. And that's pretty much it. So we're back down here in Catacombs level 4. We're going to start going through and getting to Andariel. I'm going to show this whole fight here because that's pretty much it. This is pretty much the rest of the deal. It doesn't last much longer. Also, one thing I want to say I'm really, really proud of in this whole playthrough is I didn't die once. I was really, really lucky in a couple of tight spots a couple of times, but I never died officially once. So, I mean, I lost my mercenary a bunch of times, but I didn't die, so I call that a win. Got close a couple of times. Oh, some more rare javelins. Maybe an upgrade for us. Not an upgrade, unfortunately. While the amplified damage on striking is nice, it's such a low chance that it's not worth it. Especially if you have something that does more damage base than the one you're upgrading to. We're just trying to clear out a little bit before we face Andariel. There's a, for some reason, I don't know why, but there's a champion in here with her, a unique guy, zombie. I think he's that one right there. Yeah, Blade Shank. So I'm trying to get him over before we attract Andariel. Trying to kill him. Zombies have, zombies have higher poison res than normal people, so it takes a little bit longer to kill them. It's not a bad chess piece. It can go on a mercenary, but it's not something I'm really looking for. And I wanted to look at this. I keep on dropping it, but I want to look at this thing to see if I can use it for a mercenary. It's okay. It's just not great though. If that mana steal was life on hit, life steal and well instead, that would have been so much better. And here goes Andariel. And there goes the poison onto the mercenary. Andariel goes down. And then there goes my mercenary. So, yeah, there we go. And that's pretty much it. Just going on to Act 2. She didn't really drop anything, unfortunately. The best thing she dropped is that ruby. The best thing she dropped is that ruby, and that's it. Trident, not great. We don't want to play as a spear class. No skills on that. Just a bunch of res, though. There's a upgraded charm from the base charm you can get at Geeds. 20 life, 20 cold res is actually pretty nice. I don't think I switched to it. I might. Yes, I do. I actually have enough points saved up from killing Andariel that I can put that belt on. I've remembered that now. And here we go, going to the east, and that's the end of that video. So, I just hope this comes across well. I know I'm in a rough spot with my sickness and everything, but like I said, this is just a test. I'm going to re-record all of this later on. I'm hoping to have some effects in there, like I don't know if I'll have cut transitions, but maybe I'll have a big old things come up like right at the beginning saying Act 1 normal or something like that, a big old splash effect. And then when I see something like I'm fighting the Countess, I'll throw up Countess, Act 1, normal. And then Andariel, Act 1, normal. I don't know. I'm thinking about things. I just don't know what eventually I'll do. I'm learning. I'm still learning Premiere, so we'll see. So thank you for watching. I'll see y'all later. Next act. Hey everyone, welcome to Act 2. So, again, the first time I've done this, post commentary stuff, and going to be very rough. And this is just like a demo, basically. So, let's get into it here. All right. So, here we are in Act 2. We're already got all the quests ready. We're heading down to the sewers to get it done. We also have a new mercenary. And also, in just a second, I'm going to do a gear check, and I'm going to try and do this at the beginning of every act. I don't always remember, but I try. So I'm going to go over the gear with you. I have these javelins. They're 50 enhanced damage, 22 attack rating, 5 life stolen per hit, 10 lightning res. Not bad. Not great, but not bad either. I'm wearing the big bonnet cap, which basically just gives me a bunch of life, mana, defense, enhanced damage, stuff like that, attack rating. Nothing special, but it's something. My gloves are 20 attack rating, 1 dex, 2 reses, lightning fire. So, like I said, nothing great, but the reses are really nice early on. This leather armor has faster hit recovery, which is nice. 2 reses at 20, and that's just great. And then I have this belt. It's 2 strength, 10 lightning, 10 poison res. I have this Wrath Amulet, which is 15 attack rating, replenish life, +2. Some magic fine. Not the greatest, but it's something. I have a Corruption Whirl Ring, which gives us a bunch of attack rating. Magic damage reduced by 1 is actually pretty good. And then the cold res. And then I have a Nagel ring. Basically, magic damage reduced is the main thing. Attacker takes damage of 3, some attack rating. But the big thing on this is the magic find. Then I have Gorefoots, which is faster run walks. And if you're a barbarian, you can use the leap. But basically, it's just faster boots. Basically, no res on them, unfortunately. Then I got the Pelta Lunata buckler, which is just a bunch of block rate and stuff like that. Strength, vitality, energy. So it's just some all around nice buckler to get early on, except for no res on it. Then I get interrupted, have to take care of them. Then I'm back. This is my mercenary. He's a blessed aim mercenary to help me with hitting the enemies easier. Right now, he's got this Volge, a pole arm that gives the main thing on it. It's the one we got from Andariel. It's not great. It would be a lot better if the mana stolen per hit was health stolen per hit, but we do what we can with it. It's just something for him to use till we can get something better. He's got the Infernal Cranium, which gives him just a bunch of all res. Now, the funny thing about the damage taking goes to mana, this works really well for a mercenary because they have no mana, but it still acts like they do. So they do take 20% less damage, basically. It's really great. The breastplate, just a bunch of defense and magic damage reduced by. Some more defense stuff for him. Gloves are just some res gloves basically for him. Has my old ring of 1 energy, 2 mana, which doesn't actually really do anything. It's got Loath Winding Slash, which is just a cold res basically. Attack rating. And then the poison res on the boots is basically all they are there for. And the amulet is my old amulet, which is attack rating, mana, and light radius, which basically does nothing as well. So that's it. There's some more Gorefoots. Like I said, I'm going to be trying and doing a bunch of this gear things like right away, but there's really nothing much going on. And then there is the next belt I put on, which has a bunch of cold res. The main thing, though, is that it gives me extra slots for potions and stuff, which is the best thing. Early on, I like spending points up to the base value that the item needs. And then later on, I use the buffs from other gear. But early on, I like putting the base items just in case something happens. I don't want to like my potions to like drop off. And then I switch the belts around so he has more res. And then pretty much nothing else happens till we get to Rodiment. Got a ring there. Kill Rodiment. Ran out of potion. Ran out of mana there for a second. The big thing is the trident and, of course, the skill book. The reason why the trident is so big is because of what it is. So we get the skill book, and then there's the trident. And the trident is Razor Tine, which is the pre-form for Kelpie Snare. So the big thing about this is it gives a bunch of increased attack speed, and it slows the target by 25%, which is really good early on. The only thing that you would replace this with would be something that gives like 10% health stolen per hit. Or like the mana rune word, which I can't think of the name for. Not bad. But yeah, it's just so much better than what he had. Trying to figure out how I can pick up other things to, you know, sell. I can kind of do that if I, like, get rid of things. So that's what I'm doing. Why I'm getting rid of all that other stuff, I have no idea right now. I think it's because it's low-tier stuff. I'm just getting rid of mainly the low-tier health potions. I can still use the low-tier mana potions because my mana potions are so small, but the health potions, I really need the higher-tier stuff to get my health back at a timely manner. Then finally we open the chest and get the project scroll so we can go get the cube. And there we go. Here we are getting the cube. Nothing much really happens. While there might be some gear upgrades, they're nothing like spectacular. But there's the cube. And like I said, I'm going to try at the beginning of every act to give a gear overview just in case I miss something when I'm recording. I think I don't do it for Act 3 or maybe Act 4. I just forget. But I try to do everything I can to remember it every act. And here we are in Maggot Lair. Figure I'd show you a little bit at the beginning because really it's Maggot Lair. And here we are at the boss. What is he? Cold Earth, Cold Worm, something like that. Cold Worm. The burr. Now, you could completely ignore that guy and not kill him. I just wanted to see if he'd drop anything interesting. You can just open the chest, grab what you need, and go. We did get a unique ring. I don't know if I showed you what the unique ring is. Usually at this level, it's nothing special. It's usually just Nagel rings. Maybe a Mandel heal by now. So it's nothing special. There's the Staff of Kings and a tier rune. Luckily, I didn't die due to the poison because I completely ignored it. And here we are at the Valley of the Snakes, coming up on the most dangerous place in the whole game, especially in Act 2, is the Claw Viper Temple. Because they're snakes. The big thing about snakes is they can stun lock you. They have this charge that they can do. They do it a lot more in the higher difficulties, but what it does is it knocks you back and gives you a little bit of a stun, and it's just freaking terrible. And there you saw me having to explore all of the temple just to basically find the exit. Yeah, I just went the completely wrong way a lot of times. The unique guy down here is the most dangerous one, Fang Skin. He's always the most dangerous one. As you can see from my health total there for a second. I got pretty low. Here's the amulet. At this point, I'm still picking up things, jewels and stuff. Here we are in Arcane Sanctuary. The palace isn't really a thing. And this is where you know you went the wrong way because it ends in a dead end with a bunch of loot. Also, if you want to farm Arcane Sanctuary, what you do is you set this place to, you set your players to 8, and then you open these chests because they're also known as super chests, and they will give you a bunch of loot as well when you're on higher difficulties. So yeah, I went the wrong way 3 times on normal. So yeah, that was a thing. I think the other two acts, I think I got them in 2. And here we go. Finally going the right way. Here's the end. There you go. All right, so let's go over how you figure out where you're going to go. Now, the easiest way is to just activate the book and go through the portal, and then in the quest itself, it will tell you which one you need to go to. But I like doing it a little bit different. I like figuring it out myself. And how you figure it out is this. There's symbols on the floor and there's symbols around the edge, right? What you do is you take you take the symbols and match it to the edge. If the symbol appears, you don't go into that temple. You go into the one that is not up here on this top part. So as you can see, we have a double down arrow, which is right here. We have a star, which is right here. We have a square, which is right here. And then a circle, which is right here. And then a triangle, which is nowhere to be found. We do have a circle over the moon here, and we do have a moon right here. So the one thing that is not on there is a triangle. So we have to go into the temple that has the triangle outside of it. You don't actually have to do this. Like I said, when you go through the portal, the quest will update and it will have the symbol that you need to go to in the quest. But I like doing it like this personally. I think it's kind of cool to do it like this. So yeah, this is basically it. So as you can see, I'm figuring it out for myself. I like personally doing this. I feel big brain when I do it like this. Here we are in the Canyon of the Magi. And this is the one temple we needed. And here we go. And basically you just go through. I actually found it pretty quickly. If you can see from the mini map how it's curved around. I did go down a dead end, but when I came back, I went down and it's right here. So it's actually pretty easy to find. If you don't know, on normal difficulties, the maps are smaller and closer together. And then as you get to higher difficulties, they expand out. There's more to the map. So it's harder to find things on the higher difficulties. So I've got a bunch of potions. I took a bunch of thawing potions myself in town. Here's a bunch of potions for Hassan to stand up against Duriel better. He does a bunch of cold damage, freezing stuff. So it's better to you basically go to town, buy a bunch of thawing potions, drink some yourself. I usually do 10 and 10, 10 for me, 10 for my mercenary. And that's usually enough. But your mercenary is still not going to last long. If we're halfway decent, they could do a little bit, but it doesn't always work out. As you can see, he didn't last long, but he lasted long enough to me do that much damage to Duriel, and then it's just killing him before he kills me. And at this low level, it's pretty easy. And he didn't drop anything really, really good. The one thing he did drop is the helmet. That's the best thing he dropped. I don't know if I show it in here, but I do show it pretty soon. But that's the end of Act 2. Me going back and getting Hassan back up. The higher the level they are, the more gold it costs. So Storm Thirst, no good, no good. Doesn't have anything. I would rather him keep his Kelpie Snare, and there you go. A Tarn Helm. +1 to all skills, and 50% better chance of finding magic items, and 75% gold for monsters. The best thing about that for me is the +1 to all skills. The magic find is great, helps out a lot, but it's not totally worth it. The +1 to all skills pushes it over the edge. Basically, it's your earliest source of +1 to all skills for a helmet slot, unless you can wear a lore. But usually that's like around level 29, which is like around Act 3, maybe Act 5, depending on how much you farm. And that's where we go right there. So that's the end of Act 2. Give me just a little bit and we'll be right into Act 3. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome here to Acts 3 commentary. Okay, so I think we start out right out with the gear. So let's go with it here. So this is my stat panel right now. I have 29 in strength, 51 in dex. I have 80 vitality, 40 energy. I'm rocking 60 fire res, 30 cold res, 0 lightning res, which is really, really dangerous in the jungle, and 30% poison res. The reason why the lightning res is really dangerous, the jungle is the first place things known as glomes can show up, and their higher tier counterpart, they basically do the same thing. They shoot lightning. If you have no lightning res, you're pretty much dead. Anything higher than normal difficulty, you can probably survive in normal difficulty without some lightning res, but yeah, it's very, very dangerous. So I'm using Charge Strike and Poison Javelin still right now. My Charge Strike is like it's just going to eat things alive, really. While the Poison Javelin looks like it has a bigger damage number, it's a damage over time mechanic. These are my stats. The main thing is I have like a lot of magic damage reduced. That's what's going to really help me against the glomes, because their main thing is they do a lightning bolt, so it's magic damage lightning. And then we have the 110% better chance of getting magic items. That's just nuts this early. 10% increased attack speed, some 45 faster run walk is great, and then like 87 faster hit recovery. When you only really need like 32 at max on the Amazon at all early on, at any point really, you need nothing more than 32. So I have like 87. I think that's like the third or fourth break point. And then we have jab, a point and jab, some power strike, poison javelin, lightning bolt, and then down to charge strike. Then I have points in inner sight, criticals, dodge, and evade, and stuff like that. And then nothing in bow and crossbow, of course. My gear, I have the Raven Skewer, which is a 5% chance to cast level 3 Ice Bolt on attack. Doesn't mean anything. It's so low, you hardly ever see it. 60% increased enhanced damage. 2 to minimum damage, 20 attack rating. Add 1 to 8 lightning damage goes really, really well. Any increased source of lightning damage you can get on your main weapon when you're doing lightning, when your skill does lightning damage, just increases your damage even further. And then some fire res on top. We got that Tarm Hill for +1 to all skills. Blood Fist. This is where I get my attack speed from. It's got some faster hit recovery on it and 40 to life. Really, really nice early gloves. Then we're rocking the Stealth, which is the best piece of gear you can get by level 17. You can start wearing it level 17, and you can go through normal difficulty with this no problem. Faster run walk. One of the few pieces that can have faster run walk on it. A rune word that gives you faster run walk. One of the few pieces that does that. Faster cast rate, really great for if you're a caster. Not really great for me, but it works really great for a caster. Faster hit recovery is nice. 6 to dexterity, regenerate mana, maximum stamina, poison res is nice as well. Magic damage reduced by 3. Here's my build that we had from Act 2. Attack rating, enhanced defense, 2 to strength, 10 to mana, 10 cold res. Gunning a Nagel ring. This is the amulet I was talking about before. This gives you 50 fire res plus 10 maximum fire res. This is just an awesome source of fire res early on. It also gives you faster hit recovery, gives you some fire damage, but if you find this before Act 4, you're golden on your fire res. You don't need the Rao helmet, really. Then the Nagel ring, then another Nagel ring, and then the Gore Riders is still what we're using. Gore Foot, and then the Pelta Lunarta is still our shield. Nothing in my cube. My charms is a 12 faster hit recovery, 45 attack, 42 to attack rating, 15 to life. Not a bad one. 20 cold res, 40 extra gold for monsters, 12 attack rating, poison damage, and that's pretty much it. And then I forget, and then I remember after a second. Here's our mercenary. So he's got the Razor Tine, which, like I said last act, 30% increased attack speed is awesome for him. And then the minus target defense and slows target by 25%. This is basically a lower version of a item called the Kelpie Snare, which I do find later on, and I'll show it later probably. But yeah. He's still got those 10/10 res gloves. He's still got the Infernium cap. Still got the Dread Pelt. He's got this. He's got the Cerberb icon now, which gives him replenish life. Basically, is mainly what it's for. He's got this Corruption Whirl for res. He's now got a Snake Cord belt, which gives him poison damage over 3 seconds. Replenish life, poison res, poison length reduced, which will increase his survivability from damage over time. He has this blood loop, mainly there for the replenish life and the poison res. And he's also got the Gore boots as well for the faster run walk. And that's pretty much it. And here we are in the spider den. Found a Pilum, which is a javelin. Taking care of the deals. And here's the power of the charge bolt, the charge strike. Early on. It's really good. looking for things, get the Callum's Eye, Ith and Tau, and a Flawed Skull. And that's pretty much it in here. There's some heavy boots, which didn't turn out to be anything, I don't think. But the eye in the cube. I always put the quest items in the cube so I know where they are. And here we are in the next area, getting the Gibeon, I think it's called. I'm trying to predict where he's going to come out, but it's just one guy, which is a little strange. Usually it's like a pack, like 4 or 5, and that was just one guy. And then we were down into the dungeon. We leave the dungeon because I need to clear out my inventory. And we turn in the quest as well. Unfortunately, that's no good. Saigons, I think I already have the Saigon helmet. So I think I eventually sold that one. There's the Death Tread heavy boots, which no, don't need. I shouldn't have sold that jewel. That's my socketing jewel. And then there's a 30 lightning res ring that I just decide to ignore. Some of my gear choices in hindsight are really bad. Here we are back in the Flares dungeon trying to get these guys. These guys are tough. Sorry about that. Needed a second. There's Callum's brain.
Impossible.
Breast range. Tile rune. Here we are finally getting out of the jungle. There's always this champion pack right as you get out of the jungle. Or not champion pack, but this unique guy, Storm Tree. And then here we go into Lower Karast. As you can see, I have explored everywhere and I still haven't found the portal until right now, the waypoint. I just found the waypoint and I've explored all that. But the thing I noticed was Lower Karast had 2 bonfires. And if you haven't seen my introduction, you farm Lower Karast, you mainly do it on higher difficulties, but you farm Lower Karast, especially if you have 2 bonfires. The buildings around, there's 2 buildings around the bonfire. And in those buildings is usually like up to 3 chests. It could be 4, but I think it's usually 3 chests. And 1 in one building, 2 in the other building, and 1 weapon rack as well. And you turn your player numbers up to like 7 or 8. And you don't kill anything. You just run in there, open those chests. They're what's known as a super chest. When you open those chests on a higher difficulty, the drops will increase significantly. And you farm those for runes, grand charms, stuff like that. It's what you farm those for. It's where you mainly farm for charms and stuff. It's one of the earliest ones you do. And the thing of it is you always want the double bonfire because that increases your chest from 3 to 6. So that increases your number of chests you open. So you get a higher return. And I pulled that on normal as default. Usually you don't do stuff like that until you at least get to Nightmare, because then you can change difficulty and hunt the map to get the 2 bonfires and stuff like that. So it's a lot harder to get. But I rolled that normally, which is actually strange. But I did a farming session there for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Didn't really get anything, unfortunately. It is normal. So we're on to the bazaar and going down into the temple to get the book. You always want to get the book. I also want to say I did get the Jade figurine. I didn't show it, but I did get the Jade figurine, turn it in, got 20 extra life for it. The book gives you 5 extra skill points. Well, not skill points, but attribute points. You get 5 free attribute points. Found a grand charm. Now look at that perfect javelin throw. That's how you use the poison javelin. You don't do it to hit an enemy. You throw it to get them in the trail of it. That's what poisons them the most. And there we go. Found a superior circlet, but unfortunately it didn't roll with anything but 2 sockets. And usually you have a plus to skills on a circlet already, so that was kind of disappointing. You could use it to put a lure in, but that's kind of a waste, because then you could just, like, get it, you know, with it drop with yellow. And there's our 5 extra stat points, which go directly into vitality. Here we are in the sewers to go get the brain. Luckily, we didn't run into, like, really dangerous enemies down here. There's these enemies in the sewers that can show up in the sewers at both level 1 and level 2. They're called skeletal babies. They are extremely dangerous, even on normal, because they run up to you to melee you. But the most dangerous thing about them is when you kill them, they will explode. So if you kill like 3 of them right next to you, you're most likely dead. And there's no mitigating it. Except for, I think, physical damage reduction is, I think, one of the few things that can do that. So I've got the brain, and I'm heading back out to go to the Travicle, because we got all the pieces now. At the waypoint. Do some identifying, do some selling. So there's the brain. Get some encouragement. But now he's talking about doing other things, and I don't want to hear it, so yeah. But thank you for the encouragement. It's really nice of you. Not a bad wand, but unfortunately you can get a unique wand that's better later. Really. Here we are, clearing out some areas to deal with the Travicle council members and stuff like that. Here's a set ring. I'm trying to clear out of enemies, but I just keep on running into more. Trying to clear them out to do the Travicle. Now I figure I'm just doing something. I'm just going too far. So here we are going up. But we're way off base of where the Travicle is. We're all the way on the far left side of the Travicle building. So they can see us and throw their hydras at us. So I finally realized that, and I back up to reset things. Try to get this guy back. Now I'm watching the map, so I know where the hell to go. Trying to poison things. Charge Strike just eats things up right now. I'm pulling back because I noticed my Merc is already down to like a little bit over half health. So I'm trying to give him time to regen health with some stuff. There's that one. Pull back. There's the big guy, because he's the only one that drops the flail. Put that in there. Quest item. He takes a while to kill Ice Fist. He's the really tanky one, apparently. Then we have this guy who dies quickly, and then Vile Hand also. Kill that guy, and then this guy teleports in, so we have to kill him. And then we're done. Just need to take care of this stuff. Got a breastplate, got a Chris. There's nothing really special. The big thing I think is the set ring. If it's the ring I'm thinking about, it might not be. I might not have gotten it yet. Whip the weapon, smack it, whip my weapon back. Not that great of a roll. I think that ring, I think I've done put that set ring on the mercenary. If it's the one I'm thinking about, it's Cathan's, I think as it's called. And what it does is it gives him a bunch, it gives him like 2 or 3 life steal, which is huge right now. It's actually pretty much the best ring you can give a mercenary right now. Now, this is where I almost died the first time, really. A couple of places have gotten me lower, but what's coming up is what's almost got me killed. And that is this room over here with the guy and the council guy. Dragon Hand. And then comes Mephisto. This guy smacked me pretty good. And my mercenary as well. Like all his tooth, not really needed. And then another blood fist.
I'll put that to good use.
Which will give him a bunch of health, so we should be using that. Even though there's no res on it, it's still a lot of health for him. Then I got an antidote potion. I decided to go ahead and use it before we go up here because he does do poison, cold, all that stuff. There he is. And it's not him that hits me for the damage. It's his little ghost guy. That's what gets me. That's what took off that much of my health and would hit. If I go back a second, I want you to watch my health. My health is at 411 right now. From 411 down to 306 in one hit. That's what scared the shit out of me, and I ran. Because for a second, I thought it was him that hit me. I was going to say, oh shit, what the hell? No, it wasn't him that hit me. It was his little ghost friend that hit me. And then I was able to turn around and just smack him down. And that's pretty much it. But that's the end of Act 3. Next time we'll go in and we'll be doing Act 4. All right, here we go with Act 4. I think this is one of the acts that I forgot to do a gear check at first, so sorry about that. Well, I'm pretty sure I do one on Act 5, so I don't, and I think I may have got one upgrade off of Diablo himself at most. So let's get to it here. But here we are in Act 4, Jamala. Refilling scrolls. Things, checking things out. So if there's anything I want out of her gear.
What do you need?
Carrying my equipment. I also have at this point remembered to how to do the free respec section. So basically, if you don't know, in the game, there is a option you can add to the executing line. It's also available through the Blizzard launcher as well, so you could do this. Uh, what was it called? Hold on just a second. Okay. It's called you enter this in the there's a if you go into Blizzard Battle.net launcher, go to Diablo 2 Resurrected and go to settings for it. There's a section for command line arguments. It's a box where you enter it and you enter in dash enable respec. If you do that, you can freely respec, but there's another way to do it on D2RMM, the mod manager. Let me bring this up real quick and I'll show you. It took me a minute to remember how to do it. So as you can see, here's the mod manager. Go to settings, go to game launcher. And then here is the deal. Include enable respec option. Just check mark that. And that'll turn that on so you can do a free reset whenever you want. There's also a reset offline maps if you want and include W, which makes everything windowed. The reset offline maps is that it will act like on the maps will act like online. So every time you log off the game and log back on, the maps will change without having to change difficulty. So yeah, it's not really. I don't really play with that one, but I do play with the free respec. I just like being able to change my stuff whenever I want. It's just a personal choice. So yeah. So basically, to use it, open up your character panel where your attributes are, hover over one of these plus signs that are always there now, hold Alt and click on them, and everything will reset your attributes and your skills. So I just need to put in enough points to get my spear back up. So that's what I'm doing. And like I said, I like having my base value at the needed deal in case I take a piece of gear off, especially early on. Usually later on, I'm not worried about it. Now I need to put in strength points so I can get my belt back. There's my belt back, and then everything else into vitality. Then I need to put my points back into my skill tree. So one into jab, one into power strike, one into poison. One into lightning, one into charge strike. One into inner sight, one into crit, penetrate, one dodge, one avoid. Come on, put that point into inner sight. You know you want to. There you go. Nothing into bow and crossbow because there's nothing there for us. And then max out charge strike. Maybe put 1 point into plague if you want. Everything into charge strike. And then everything else into poison javelin. I could go lightning right now if I wanted to, but I decided to just go into poison javelin again because I like it's a lot easier than the lightning bolt right now. The play style anyway. And there we go. So that's all of my points spent back to where they need to be. I was thinking about, like I said, I was thinking about going lightning bolt, but I think right now at least the plague javelin is better. Just to make sure, you know. So switching my skills back. Switching my skills back should be a priority right now. Yeah, I keep on messing around, thinking about things, seeing if I want to respec again to try lightning. I don't need that one. I need that one. Got to change my main attack to charge strike. Come on, charge strike. Not power strike. You want the charge strike. So to release the charge bolts. That's the main thing. There you go. Now we're back to it. And there's our mercenary right now. So he's still got the razor tine. He's got Dusk Deep now, which gives him a bunch of resistances, defense, and stuff like that. He's got Venom Ward for a lot of poison resist and stuff like that. He's got the Cathin Seal. This is what I was talking about. It's actually 6 life stolen per hit. So this is the best ring. If you get the Merc Equip mod, this is the best ring you can put on them, really. Anything that gives them life stolen per hit, and then the damage reduced is just a cherry on top as well. So if I had another one, I would probably be putting that on there as well. At least until you get Ravenfrost, which gives you +2... gives you cannot be frozen. Burning Souls. Here's Izzle. The most dangerous things in this area is the Burning Souls. There we go. I'm getting mana back now to do damage. There we go. And as you can see, our mercenary is just tanking him like crazy. But Izzle is pretty tanky, especially in normal difficulty. You're not really geared up to deal with him right this second. So he is pretty tanky early on, especially in normal, when you're still getting things set up and going. But there we go. He drops the skull cap, things like that. Nothing special. I think he dropped another Tarn Helm. And here we are. There's this armor guy. Very dangerous guy, especially in later difficulties when he gets more mods on him. But if you're a warlock, he's the best thing you could ever see in your life. Because you can bind demon on him and you could have all his buffs for yourself. He just pretty much kills the game himself once you get him on hell difficulty. He will pretty much just kill everything himself, basically. You never have to worry about anything again with him. But there isn't anything special he dropped. Here we go. We're going to do the forge. And what rune do we get? Place your bets right now. What rune do we get? We got a tear rune. That's pretty bad. Here we are back in Act 3. I realized I can, right now I'm like a little bit before level 24, so I can shop a teleport staff. So that's what I'm doing. And this is the run where we got it. It took me like 15 or so resets. And that's teleport charges, level 1. Come on, man. Buy it. You know you want to. I haven't paused it or anything. I'm just hovering over it that long. And I'm thinking about it. I said, do I really want to? Yes, you really want to. Thank you. Thank you. You know what to do. Put it in the queue for later. Once you hit level 24, you can use it. Here we are. And this is where it gets really dicey. This is where I run. My mana is disappearing. I'm decrepified. It's really, really hurting. So I just run. And also, sorry about that. I had to take a coughing break. Also, if you take a look at my potions are messed up. I'm just flustered as all get out right now because of what just happened. I was poisoned. I was decrepified. I'm very, very much in a situation right now. But I'm slowly getting it back together. I just noticed that my potions are not on the ground to pick back up. The ones I just threw off because my loot filter has changed where I don't pick up those lower tier health potions. So I'm just all kind of flustered right now. But I reset, I spend my skill point, I go back to town. I actually went back to town before this little section right here, got everything set back up like it's supposed to be, bought some potions, and then I went and continued on. They got the vizier down. But that was the most sketchy part right there of the deal of the hell difficulty. I mean, not the hell difficulty, but the Act 4. That was the most sketchy part. Then I went and concentrated on Lord Desays, getting him down. Even though I'm picking this up, I'm just picking them up to sell. I'm not really using those pieces. There's activating the last deal. The Venom Lord didn't do anything. I pretty much just one-shot the Venom Lord almost. This is the most sketchy Diablo fight we've had. I had to do a lot of running around. Also, before I continue, I just want to say this for anybody who's about to start playing. They just recently fixed a bug they've had for a while with the newest patch for the Warlock DLC. And it's a patch as well to the base game. So even if you don't have the Warlock DLC, this has been patched. When they released Diablo 2 Resurrected with the new graphics and everything, there was a bug that happened with Diablo to make him like the joke of the game on Nightmare and Hell difficulty. If you stand within melee range when he does his lightning at you, it's his most damaging thing he does. He cannot hit you. Before this DLC, before this patch, if you stood in melee range, his lightning would just go over you, would not even touch you at all. So he became the biggest joke of the game at that point. They just recently fixed that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people lost their hardcore character to him before they realized what he was doing. So do be very, very careful. He can hit you in normal difficulty, but in Nightmare and Hell, he can't hit you if you're standing in melee. But as you can see, yeah, his lightning does a lot of damage. If you get hit by that in Nightmare, especially Hell difficulty, unless you have like really, really high res, you're pretty much just going to be killed instantly if you're not careful. He's got some things, but really nothing special. None of that gear except for the chest piece is anything special. The chest piece is the new chest piece for my Merc. I think it's an ethereal hawk mail, which just gives like a bunch of res and stuff like that. Better than the rare he's wearing right now. And that's pretty much the end of Act 4. Not something bad, not bad. Holy Fire, +6 to Holy Fire for Paladin, but it's a two-handed sword. Not that great. You actually want to be using a sword. You want to be using a one-handed and a shield on a Paladin. Not a great shield. Usually Paladin shields have a bunch of res on them. That had nothing. Grizzle's Edge, it's okay, but you can make better rune words by the time you whip that. Not a great bow. Face of Horror is the worst of the mask, really. It does have 10 to all res. And then the Hawk Mail right here is going to go into my Mercenary. Has faster run walk, max cold res. Cold res cannot be frozen. Is basically what it's there for. So that's going to go onto my Mercenary. And then I found another Nagel ring that I can sell. And that's pretty much it. I decided not to use this Mask of Horror because it does 5 less all resistance, but also it calls monster to flee plus 50%. That's really bad. You don't want monsters to flee from you because unless you're doing like a barb build, and then that is better than the Venom Ward. That's definitely going on. While the Venom Ward does do a lot of poison stuff, the cannot be frozen is so huge that it's worth changing. And that's pretty much it for Act 4. So I want to thank y'all for watching, and I'll be back in just a minute with Act 5. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Act 5 commentary, post commentary. The last one. Uh, like I've been saying, this is going to be a kind of a demo of what I'm doing. I'm definitely going to be re-recording this when I'm not sick because I've had to stop and cough a lot, cough up some stuff, sneeze, all kinds of stuff that I've had to do. So, yeah, I'm going to be re-recording this for sure. But I want to get y'all something because I didn't release anything Friday because I was sick. I don't have anything for this weekend, so I wanted to get this all rendered together, get this out. Hopefully by Sunday morning this will be ready and y'all can watch it like Sunday morning. And then I already have Icarus recorded, so y'all can see that starting Monday and stuff like that. So I had to take a little bit of break because of sickness, but here we go. All right, so Act 5, normal. So here we are. We're going to start out. We're going to go over the gear. I did remember to do the gear this time. So we have this corpse dart. It gives us 80% enhanced damage, 4 to minimum damage, 120 AC rating, 1 to 16 lightning damage. This thing is a beast. The only thing that would be good would be some lifesteal on it. That would be the only thing that would make this thing like S tier, really. There's a Tarnhelm skullcap. Still using it. We have Blood Fist still, which increased attack speed and 40 to life. Faster hit recovery is nice. We have our Stealth still with our faster run walk, our faster hit recovery, poison res. Bone wilting, some fast hit recovery, 30, 30, 30 res. This is just like top tier belt. The only thing that would be better is if it had some life on it, but I'm not complaining. We still rocking our fire res amulet with some max fire resist as well. We have a Havoc Gyre. So this is just a bunch of fire res plus the life plus attack rating. Skull Circle, which gives us faster cast rate, cold res, poison res. We should be pretty much maxed out almost on reses except for lightning. Whoops, missed the boots. Let's get back and look at the boots real quick. I went too fast over the boots, I think. Here we go. Sanders Rip Wrap. 40 faster run walk. I think these are the fastest boots you can get at this point of normal difficulty. These Sanders Rip Wraps requires level 20, and the main thing is they give you 40 faster run walk. So you were just zooming. The strength and dex are also nice, attack rating, but the big thing is that, and we're still using the Lunata shield. We have 12 faster hit recovery, 42 attack rating, 15 life, 20 cold res, 40 extra gold for monsters, 12 attack rating, poison damage over 3 seconds, 15 to life, 15 to life, and 20 to life and poison res. Our stats are 37 strength, 61 dex, 130 vite, 25 energy. We have 85 fire res, 75 cold res, 30 lightning res, and 75 poison res. We have 50% chance now of getting magic find, which is down from our 110 I think we had before. 10 attack speed, 65 faster run walk, which is fast, 104 faster hit recovery, which is wild, and 45 faster cast rate. Then here's our Merc gear. We got the Razor Time. We have Blood Fist for him now. We got the Hawk Mill on him, which cannot be frozen, is the main thing. This thing just so good for him. Dust Deep, which is basically there for all resistances. This massive lifesteal for Cathan Seal. We still got the Snake Cord on him. We got another Cathan Seal, so now he has 12 life stolen per hit. And then he's also got Sanders Rip Rap, which gives him 40 faster run walk. And that's pretty much it there. There's our skills. We have Jab, we have Power Strike, we're still using Poison Jab. We have Charge Strike. And then we have all of our passives still as they were. 1 point in all of them. And here we're heading out. Here we are at Sheik. And Sheik is dead. And then here's me thinking that these things are going to kill me if I stand in them. They actually don't do damage to you. They're not actually there. They don't actually hurt you. I think they're going to give me damage, but they don't. Here I go get the waypoint. And then I went and farmed for a little bit between Shink and the other guy up here. Didn't actually get anything really great. Eldritch and Shink, I farmed for a little bit. For maybe about an hour, I farmed them, but I didn't really get anything. But here we go. We're going to go grab the barbarians to get them done. I can now use my teleport staff. Got Shark Tooth here. An axe and a Morning Star. So if I'm not mistaken, those are the last guys I needed to get. And I explored everywhere trying to get those guys. And they were right there at the beginning. Here's Frozenstein's area. This is also a very dangerous thing. These guys can stun you. So being in melee like this is like really, really dangerous. But with the faster hit recovery I have, I actually got it pretty good. As you can see, I'm getting hit and stunned, so I back up a little bit. But our mercenary is getting through, so we're able to get them eventually. And there we go. Nothing really stands out. Here, Anya. Now we got to go back to town. Yeah, quit talking to her. Go back to town. Get the potion. Go grab the potion. Go back to her. Talk to her. Let her leave. And then activate your own portal because she's too fancy to let you have hers. And there we go. And then we get a scroll that gives us 10 all res, which is great. One of the best quests you could get. So now I have 40 lightning res.
Salutations.
Not that great, unfortunately. I don't know why I'm really thinking about it. That's really, really bad. Get rid of those. 3 to Shadow Discipline isn't bad. And the Grand Zapter wasn't anything. Now, I want you to, you want to play a little game. I think I cut a lot of it, but if you want to, play a little game of when I buy a javelin and see how many of them are ceremonial javelins, which is what I need to upgrade a ceremonial javelin into the Titan's javelin, which I'm going to do later on. But I went through, I think if I remember the count, when I was editing, I think I cut out like half of them. I think. Just think of how, just count how many I show. I don't think I cut it all out because I was trying to get some new weapons. And there we go. Compact Maiden Javelin. Ceremonial Javelin of Lightning. So put those off to the side because those are really good. Come on now. You know you want to. And here's Matriarchal Javelin. And yeah, so I also got a Matriarchal, butchering that, Javelin. And if I had kept this and also upgraded this, I could have got Thunderstroke Javelin, which is the other one you can get. That's a unique javelin. And it's it's okay, but if you don't have Titans, you can use it because it gives you a lot of stuff like added to lightning as well. And then there's the javelins I took and used and got rid of the ceremonials like an idiot. Because like I said, I can upgrade those because at level 42, I can upgrade those and use them as Titans. And I didn't do it. So yeah, I have those. Yeah, it does look like I cut all of it out. But I want to say I got like 20. No, not 20. 12 ceremonial javelins, and that one matriarchal as well. That one matriarchal as well. And I sold them all back like an idiot. I do have that 3 chest piece. Also, if you notice the gear in the, I don't know if I show it yet. I know I do it later. I'll talk about it later. But there's the breastplate. I'm thinking about it. Do I want to make it right now? I think I'm about to look up the rune word for it. Yeah. So what we're looking for is peace. And right here is the reason why. It's a shell, thul, and am. I have all of those. It does require level 29, but I can go ahead and make it for later. The big thing is it gives us +2 to Amazon skill levels and some cold rest. But the really, really big thing about this, even though it's such a small chance, it still happens a lot more often than you think, is a 2% chance to cast level 15 Valkyrie on striking. That is amazing for a tank. This is basically another mercenary that is a lot better than the mercenary you have at this point. That thing will tank pretty much everything for you at this point. And like I said, even though it says it's a 2% chance to cast level 15 on striking, at this point, this thing, it will happen almost every time because of if you have a bunch of faster attack speed, it happens more often than you think. And then there's Sanders gloves, which I don't know if I change into right now, but I should, because that gives me even faster attack rating. And then there's the skin of the Viper Magic. I got this when I was farming either Shank or something like that, I think. While I was doing the gambling for the javelins, I was also going and farming Shank, farming Eldritch, and then farming Pendleskin. And one of them dropped the skin of the Viper Magi. The problem is this comes online at level 29, but for the Amazon, so does Peace. And Peace is better for me. It does give you 35 all res. If you were a caster, yes, you would use Skin of the Viper Magi more, but as an Amazon, you want Peace instead, just for the +2 to skills and then the Valkyrie. So yeah, this would be best in slot on any other character most likely right now, but for us, Peace is better because they both come online at the same time, and then the +2 to skills is higher than the +1, and then the chance to cast a Valkyrie. You cannot underestimate the Valkyrie, like at all. Here we are at Area Summit, going to do the guys. We have Peace on now, so we are level 29. So we're trying to separate them out just a little bit, see what we can do. They are a little bit dangerous. Got him already. That's 2. On normal, they're not that bad. You just got to be aware of their skills. But we're now getting into Lightning Strike, so we're now level 30. Where you can now use Lightning Strike, which is really, really good on your left click attack. I don't know if I switch yet because I think Charge Strike might be a little bit better with all the points I invest into it right now. But I don't know if I respec right now or if I do it later on. I'm trying to figure out where it is on the skill list. There it is right there. See, we don't have the other one yet because we just got level 30. I could respec and go ahead and switch into it. Basically, all that's left is kill Bao. Here we are in the throne room. I am using Lightning Bolt. I went ahead and switched away from the poison and onto Lightning Bolt.
Good day.
Suicide one's pretty good. Suicide branch, I mean.
Good afternoon.
Refilling on potions because we're doing the Throne of Destructions. We're about to go do Bale. Wonder if I ever remember to pick up that jewel on the ground and keep it. Yeah, pretty much my left click right now is my best thing. Even though I have the lightning bolt on my right click, it's not that great because I don't have any points put into it, but just trying to keep away from him casting Decrepify on me. My mana use right now is enormous.
Salutations.
Heading back out just to get the poison off of us. Just checking every now and then to see if there's anything I want to grab. Here's the council, guys. As you can see, my mana consumption is something else right now. I'm still getting used to the mana consumption. so it's taking me a little bit to redo things. Still getting Decrepify put on us. Heading back out to reset. Get Decrepify off of us. Getting a bunch of potions back into me. Don't need those. Just resetting everything. Open up another portal in case we need it. There's some chain gloves. I think those are chance guards. I think I already have them, those, so I think I'd just leave them. Venom Lords. See if we can pull them away a little bit. There we go. We just got 31. I think. Here comes the destruction minions. Yep.
Good afternoon.
I accidentally used a potion there. Alright, here's Lister and his minions. I'm trying to pull them back. I'm not going to do the thing of where we pass it by getting them to leave, but I do want to just pull a lot of them away from each other. Because they are very, very dangerous, even on normal. There's Lister himself. As soon as he goes down, the rest of them become pretty easy. Here's the other guys up here. Just 3 more. Yeah, I'm still getting used to the mana burn that I'm going through. Also, it's called Insight, I think, now. The mana thing. The mana pole arm. With the meditation aura. And there we go. We've just finished it. Got a woe staff, which isn't bad, but I like the deal he's got right now. And there's a blood rise, which I already got a bunch of. I pick up the jewel. I did. I'm smart. I'm smart. I'm smart. And here we go. Here's Bale. Teleport over. Try to smack him with my teleport staff because I haven't switched yet. Trying to think. There we go. Now we're on to him. Open a portal in case we need it. Get my mana back because he burned it. Run up. There's more mana burn. That's his most annoying thing to me, or in normal difficulty, is this mana burn. You're just going to burn through so many potions of mana. Oh. So now we're on to his clone. And yes, we're on the clone right now. And the clone can mana burn you as well, which is also annoying. Now, you can just leave the, through a portal, wait a minute or so, and his clone will just disappear. But there's nothing special going on in this fight. It's just us racing to kill him. I think this is like the lowest I get is 200 something health. I don't think I ever drop lower than that. It's just a potion race now. Do I have enough potions to kill him before I run out and have to go back to town and buy more? And he's almost dead. He's got a clone, but it was too late.
My work here.
And he didn't really drop anything either. He dropped 2 crossbows, 2 morning stars, a longsword, and a composite bow. And I'm basically just getting rid of the potion so I can pick up all the loot to sell. Because there's nothing in any of this that I'm going to be using. And that's pretty much Act 5 normal. So, yep. There we go. And that's it. And it's a Destruction's End. And that's the end there. So, thank you for watching. I will see y'all later. Like I said, this is a little test thing. I hope it goes okay, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty bad, especially since I'm sick. So I will see y'all later. I'm going to go and splice this all together, these 1 to 5 acts, and then post it up, and hopefully it'll be ready for y'all Sunday morning. So I will see y'all later. Y'all have a nice time, whatever time it is in y'all's part of the world. Bye.